If you are experiencing foundation issues, get a free estimate from Ox Foundations.
The B.B. Calmer Booster Club presents the Coach Adam Fossett segment of Daybreak this morning in his third year at B.B. Calmer. First game tonight, first game of your tenure at B.B. Calmer against Childersburg, but you're no stranger to Childersburg.
No. I was fortunate to be able to be the head coach at Childersburg for 4 years, and really had a good run there. We had some good teams come through. And so I know what's there. I know what's as far as athletes, and I know what kind of Coach Johnson is. He was on my coaching staff, so
yeah, you're familiar with him too.
Yeah, I'm familiar with him too. So they're going to come in prepared. They're going to come in ready to go, and Coach Johnson will have them physically and mentally ready. So it's going to be a good matchup. It's going to be a good game. And one thing that we've discussed is, the layoff on this. The last time Childersburg and Comer played, I was the head coach at Childersburg. And after the game, the head coach at the time at Comer said, this is the last time we're going to play you. I was like, okay, so I didn't really know how to take that. But, now that I've been back at Comer, that's one thing that I wanted to get back on the schedule, and in discussing it with people at Childersburg, and then once Johnny got the job, getting it secured was pretty easy to do. So
and it wasn't just snapping your finger, getting that to restart it back.
Right. It's one of those things where it's got to work into everybody's schedule. It's got to be, everybody has to agree on it and things like that. So it makes sense financially. Unfortunately, high school athletics have to run off of money and finances. So, even at like tonight's situation, we're at 40% capacity because of everything that's going on. Even at 40% capacity, we'll be able to have about 1,000 fans total. So, that's a big gate and helps us out. And one thing we agreed upon going into these first 2 years is we'll split the gate. So we'll split the gate with Childersburg this year. Next year we'll split the gate with them, and it helps both programs out. So, we battle it out on the field, and the kids are going to battle it out, and make no mistake of it. Once kickoff gets here, I want to beat them as soundly as we can. But before that and after that, we're all working together as coaches in the county and in the county system, and you build a rapport with these coaches. We all try to communicate with each other and help each other out, and with my history with Coach Johnson and knowing him, I like to reach out and help those guys whenever they need it, and in turn they help me out. So it's a good little brotherhood that we have to look out for each other.
Seen a couple of teams this week cancel games due to COVID-19, and you got your first game tonight, and you've had to adjust almost everything. But is that kind of settled a little bit, or tonight going to be a big test for you as far as guidelines for COVID?
Tonight will be a big test as far as guidelines. We practiced at the stadium yesterday, and we coned off, from 10 to 10, and we get all this space that we're allotted to socially distance, and the kids have to socially distance and stay away from each other and things like that. And as kids, the energy of the game is going to catch up to them, and all of a sudden they're going to start kind of inching back together, and it's not.
That's certainly not abnormal either.
Yeah, it's not abnormal. Usually we're stuck between 25 and 25, and those guys are following. If the action's on a certain end of the field, they're going to migrate towards that end of the field, and it makes it tough. During practice yesterday, we're explaining to them to socially distance and get far apart, and then we call out for a special team. Well, we're calling for kickoff. Well, one of the kickoff guys is on the 10-yard line because we told him to socially distance. So now he's running 40 yards to get to us, so he can, we can count them up. All right, we got 11. Go run kickoff. So just little things like that you don't even think about, that you don't. It kind of throws a wrench into everything. So it's they've extended timeouts. They've extended. the cleaning of stuff and things like that. Like how are we going to give kids water during timeouts? We can't use water bottles.
Have you practiced that too?
Yeah. That's what yesterday was for, to be able to be at the stadium and practice that. And, we're going to go through a lot of paper cups is what it's going to amount to. So, we have a tray that'll hold 13, 14 cups of water. They'll be filled up during the timeout. And they're going to bring that tray out. We'll have somebody else with a trash bag. They drink their cup of water.
And then there's a game.
Yeah, and then there's a game. So, and it's been a hectic week too. Like a typical home game's a little bit hectic. The first home game of the year is a little bit hectic, but you have everything that goes with it. So capacity, a stadium capacity limit, the fairness of getting tickets out. So we've been selling tickets to football players, band members, and cheerleaders this week. All throughout the week, they each have an opportunity to buy 4 tickets. And no tickets
sold at the gate either.
Well, we'll have tickets sold at the gate. So whatever's not sold will be sold at the gate for our side. And then we were able to send 450 tickets to Chillsburg, and we'll know how many they sold this morning. But if there's any available, we'll have those available at the gate for them. But there's no crossing over. So Sylacauga has graciously allowed us to use their visiting locker room, and instead of having 2 teams in the same corner where our locker room is. So if you're on the visitor side, everything you do will be on the visitor side. You don't use the restroom over there. You get concessions over there. The team will be over there. The band will be over there. When you enter, you'll go over there. So there's no crossing over into that, and people are upset about that. People, it's just like anything else. If you try to make everybody happy, it's just not going to work. Our best interest is what's best for the kids involved, and we're trying to make sure those kids get to play not only tonight, but next Friday and the following Friday and the following Friday. So, and you never know. We explain that to our kids. Nothing is given. Like today is not given. You look at Winterboro Vincent. Last Thursday they were supposed to play, and at like 1 o'clock, the hammer fell down and it was canceled because there were some positive cases. So it's not given to you. I'm looking forward to the referee coming to me and asking who my captains are, and are we properly and legally equipped, and that sportsmanship is expected, and giving me the COVID updates, because then I know we're close to that point where they can't.
And there's one captain, is that correct?
Right, one captain.
Representing the team at the coin toss.
Right.
Yeah. I did see, I don't know how this will affect, and I thought about this yesterday when I passed by there, the Bobby Overton Fieldhouse, next to it, they've got that property for sale. And they got stakes up there, and so you got to get these buses and stuff in there and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, so that parking lot is closed off, and we're trying to find out the situation with that and kind of what's going on. But that property had been for sale for a while, and then I got a phone call Tuesday, and somebody said, "Have you seen the parking lot next to the field house?" No. So after practice, I went over and looked, and everything is posted up and fenced off, and no trespassing and no parking, and all the trash cans are pushed out by the road, and the big dumpster is pushed out in the middle of a little drive area that that we can get to our gate. But not real sure what's going on with that. I know that it's this is. I had somebody tell me it's been around for a while. Said Comer has been parking in that little parking lot, and Sylacauga's been parking there, and different. When there's a track meet and there's 7 teams there, that's where all the buses park and stuff like that. So we gotta find out what's going on.
And you respect the ownership there and their property, but to say that's not another item you have to deal with.
It's another item we have to deal with. It's another, and that parking lot was, that's where our officials park. That's where we put buses. That's where, so it changes the logistics of everything, and you've got to really prepare. I run through a list every night of what have I forgot, what am I not thinking about, So, we're putting up diagrams of the stadium from with arrows directing people where to go and putting it on social media and contacting our people and things like that. So
well, let's talk football. Let's talk about the game tonight. B.B. Comer hosting Childersburg, and I know you kids are excited about the opener.
Yeah, they're excited. This seems like it's been the longest fall camp leading up to the season. So they're excited about it, looking forward to it. Without spring football, you really you miss those reps. You miss that opportunity. So one thing spring football is good in my eyes is that you have guys that what they can do, and you work on they kind of work on polishing their skills. And then you have guys that might have been close to being able to be ball players and get some playing time, possibly become a starter when your season ended the previous year. So you want to see what an offseason did for them. And then any new stuff that you're putting in, obviously you get to practice it. So all that was wiped off the table. And we've had a lot of install and we've really put the kids to the test as far as installing things offensively, defensively, and their knowledge of what they need to do. So I'm anxious to see it put together tonight. I feel like we've got some very athletic kids. Obviously, offensively, Devontae Carmichael and Raphael Johnson are back, and they were electric last year and made some good things happen.
Big play capability of both those guys.
Chris Garrett will rotate in with Raphael Johnson, and he's more of a downhill runner type kid. He's not going to run. He's not going to sidestep you and make a play. He's going to try and run over you. So a different type of back than Raphael. Both of them, like I said, will get opportunities to get carries tonight. On the edge, obviously, we've got James Carmichael, who is Devontae's brother, and DeLeon Welch. We got a little wiry kid, Lane Smedley, who didn't play last year. That's a senior for us this year that'll be out at receiver. So, and then up front, the key is up front. It's like repeating yourself, but the key is up front on both sides of the ball. If we're not physical up front, it could be a long night. And I feel like our offensive line has progressed. That's been a kind of a sore spot for us over the past 2 years is offensive line, and we've progressed there, and we've gotten more physical and understand the game a little bit more, and we're returning 4 out of 5 on the front too. So that definitely helps. The loss of Kobe McCain hurt, but we've had Brandon Blankenship step in and play center for us. So there's a lot of things that I feel are on our side, but
defensively, look at your Tiger team, and I know a number of the players play both ways, but defensively, who we might look for tonight?
John Murphy's going to have to hold things down at middle linebacker for us. He's basically a 2 on offense, so he's not a starter on offense per se. He'll rotate in and get snaps, but John's the guy that he's going to have to get everybody lined up. He's going to have to make sure everybody's keyed where they're supposed to be, and he's going to have a big game.
And that's a huge responsibility.
Yeah, that's a big responsibility. So, and I think he's able to do it. John's biggest fault is he tries to do too much sometimes. So if he's doing too much, then he's not doing his job. So. He wants that success though. He wants us to be successful, and you just have to remind him, hey, you just do what you can do, and everybody else does what they can do, and things will be all right. So you
have really worked to shore up your special teams. That's the kicking team and stuff. That's hurt you in the last couple of years.
Yes. So our first year here, we had a punt blocked in every game, which. That may be a state record that you don't want to have, We had a punt block in every game the first year, and then last year we gave up some critical kickoff returns for touchdowns. You look at the Piedmont game, opening kickoff, they take it back for 6, and then it falls off, the wheels kind of fall off. You're playing from behind right out of the gate. Yeah, you're playing from behind, and then you're pressing the kids. When you're down that early, the kids feel like they got to make something happen quick. And I can't remember if we had a turnover. We went 3 and out, and then they scored right after that. So it made for a long night. But special teams is it's something that we've put a lot of time in and invested a lot of time in. And when you're talking 2A football, special teams, you're talking about kickers and snappers and punters and stuff like that. When you're talking 2A football, there's not a lot of guys that are just kickers and punters.
Right.
There's not. You look at bigger schools, and a lot of the bigger schools get a soccer-style type kicker with a good strong leg, and he's kicking it through the end zone, and you don't have to worry about it, And honestly, you can get if you can get a kicker that can kick it through the end zone 90% of the time, you don't have to work kickoff as much. That's not as much of your time taken up in practice, because he can knock it through the end zone. You start on the 20. But we've got a couple guys that are kicking for us, and Raphael Johnson and Lane Smedley do some kicking for us. But you look at, all right, Raphael, he's going to do kickoffs for us. Well, if he breaks one for 60 and then has to turn around and kick, we're probably not going to get a good kick, and that's not his fault. But I mean, he's tired. He just ran, and he's got to play corner. So we got to be able to have some guys step in, and Lane stepped in and does a good job for us. We have a couple other guys that can step in for us. But special teams are important, and that's it's overlooked by a lot of, especially at our level, it seems to be overlooked by a lot of teams. So we divide our special teams up among coaches, and each coach has a certain special team that they have to focus on. And I hope to see the fruits of our labor tonight on that.
A couple of keys to success for BB Comer tonight.
Number one is execution. Just to execute, we've got to finish drives. We've got to stop drives. We were famous last year. We could move the ball, and once we got close to the red zone, it seems like we would sputter. We wouldn't finish drives. Defensively, we got to stop drives. So we'd make 2 good stops, and we'd have 3rd and medium or 3rd and long, and then give up a big play. And we can't do that. We've got to stop drives. And then physicality. This is a physical game, and we've talked to our guys all week. You've got to be physical. Play physical, play fast, and execute. Everything will work out.
All right, Coach. Good luck tonight. Tigers from Childersburg. BB Comer and Childersburg, first time in 5 years, I think it is, that they've played here at Legion Stadium in Sylacauga night. Kick at 7 o'clock. Coach, good luck, and we'll see you next week.
Appreciate it.
Coach Adam Fossett, the head football coach and athletic director at BB Comer. More Daybreak after this.